Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Coachman Laser Extra 575. These are essentially a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were coming on or off site. So starting off first, you have your black hitch head here with black lever, which you have to have pulled up. You can then wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow ball. It will snap down that black handle, push up this red button and expose a green ring. You have the breakaway cable down here. Breakaway cable, if you have an eye point, has to be used. If not, wrap it around the tow bar. You have handbrake here, which you just press down and up to engage and disengage. You have 13 pin electric just here, and your jockey wheel just here as well. We're using our test equipment today here. So first up, we have your gas locker. So I've got a Cala red propane bottle. This is the most popular thing to use. It's also the best thing to use because it's the easiest to find, and propane performs better than butane. Then have an in-date gas hose connecting onto this regulator here, and tighten that as much as you can, and then just nip it up using the spanner. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the positive or open direction. Now with regards to that, there is a O-ring inside which has to stay inside. You don't want to put too much pressure as it can cause it to crack, break and splinter, leading to a gas leak. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back, you have inserts for your legs. The caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill just to make it that bit quicker. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs, they're simply used for stabilisation. Coming over to the opposing side, starting off first, we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Then have a water filter, external point, shower point just there. And then we have an Aqua full of clean drinking water just here. Now the actual pump itself is from Whale, even though you're on an Alder system. This just pushes in, then you can press down the cap just there to lock it into place. You've got this white cap to go over the top of the Aqua to make sure no nastiness gets in. And then at the bottom we have your strainer. Now it's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it can lead to coughs, splutters and just general poor performance. As you can see, just push in and then press down on the cap, locks it into place. Just next to it we have your battery locker. That's where your battery would sit. You'd either need a 12 or 13mm spanner, or the battery spanner that sometimes comes with it. Then you have your plug-in for your mains, nice and simple. You can also feed it through to lock up the locker when it's a horrible day like today, but enough moaning. Motor mover will be shown on collection. Just behind the axle we have the 2 points where both your wastewater from your shower and your sink will come from. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can empty out at the appropriate point on site. And lastly, we got your toilet function. So this top compartment is your flush tank. Get yourself on something like a watering can to just feed this in. It can hold 12 litres of water, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a little bit of pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell a bit nicer. Down below we have your cassette toilet. To remove it, press up on the handle and pull out towards you. You can also extend that handle up and out and it will work similar to a carry-on suitcase at that point. You can then twist this head to the side. It is a little bit awkward to do with one hand, and to saddle it. There we go. Twist that head to the side, take it off, and you want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing your vent button. You can see there I've added some fresh water just to show you as an example. You can also open up this compartment, feed in some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake, just so it makes it smell a bit nicer. And on this cap, it's got measurements of both imperial and metric, and that was for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into that compartment, back into the head, twist it to the side, and then press it in so the orange handle sits behind the white teeth. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just up here, got a little bung to drain off any remaining water from the tank. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have all of this, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything under it. you can see down there you've got 2 yellow switches. Those are your drain valves. Those will be left in the vertical position, which is the drain mode. So anytime you come off site, switch that to the vertical position. When you want water flowing through, you want them both in the horizontal position as they are now. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan. As I said, we will leave it up. You've got your Alder boiler just here. Now you can pull back this panel if you ever need to do a reset. You have this blue box here, which is essentially your brain box for your motor mover. And then if I flip this down, you can see you have all your tricks and fuses. Now, as there are a couple of wires, I won't recommend storing anything. These are on automatic gas struts, so as soon as you let go, they pop right back up. And just here we have your main control panel. So I turn this on using this button, that's master on, and then it's master on. Radio might come on in a second, but essentially it tells me the time, which is not 12 minutes past midnight. You can change that in the settings. Now you can circle through, so you've got settings, you've got fill tank, you've got pump selection. So I can either use the internal pump, which is the onboard tank, which is situated underneath the bed, or if I press in the enter button, I can use external pump, which only uses the water straight from the Accroll to the boiler to the sink, rather than Accroll to the onboard tank to the boiler to the sink. It's dependent on what you want to use. A lot of people will fill up the onboard tank, then have the Accroll on the side. Then you've got water level, so it's currently 0. Internal temperature, which is 18. Now these two will slightly differ. Electric battery voltage, which is 13.7. Now that is not an accurate representation of when you're plugged into mains. When you're plugged into mains, that will tell you the amount coming from mains. When you've only got battery, it's battery. And then we're back to the start. You have lights inside. As you can see, that's a lot nicer. And then awning light on. So quick check because it's horrible. Awning lights on. So I've got a couple of choices. So settings first, you can see there's a couple of different options. You do have to scroll to the bottom to be able to save and exit. But I can either fill the tank or go straight external pump to the actual sink. So if I press this tap button, that says pump on. Pump running gives me a little warning just to let me know, and that is pulling through the water straight to the boiler. However, if I wanted to switch over to internal pump and I wanted to actually fill the tank, I would press in again on that one, and you'll gradually see in a second that 0 is going to go up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. Goes all the way up, and it goes to the tank that is situated underneath the bed. So that's going to gradually rise, obviously gets to 100%. So I've now got two choices. I can either use the water from the tank, or I can use the water from underneath there. So we're going to let that fill. But whilst we do that, we're going to use the Alder panel. So this is for your heating and hot water. So you've got your menu just here, which says the internal temperature is 18 degrees. First up, we have the internal temperature that you desire. So this goes down and up in 0.5. Whatever you select it to, it will get to that temperature in around about an hour. If it's not bang on, don't worry, it just takes a little bit of time. Next, we've got the water temperature. So you can either have it off. Midway would get the water temperature to around about 40 or 50 degrees, or full. Now what full does, it prioritizes the water heat over the heating of the actual caravan for around about an hour, and then it will drop it back down to this point. It will get to a temperature of about 60 to 70 degrees and drop it back down. So good if you want to use the shower or something like that in the morning. Then you've got energy source. So I can either use 1, 2, 3 kilowatts of capacity, or I can use strictly gas, or a mixture of gas of 1, 2 and 3. So I've got the choice of either gas mains or a mixture of both. Now with regards to that, some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity, so always check with them before you go, because you don't want to bang on 3 kilowatts and it not work. Then I've got settings by pressing there. these are a few advanced little bits. We've set it to what we believe is the most user-friendly to use. So if you'd like to know what each bit represents, please have a look inside your book pack. Now the screen will naturally fade off when it's not interacted with in a little bit of time, but you'll still continue to see the LED. When I press in to turn it off, no more LED showing me that it's not on. So in that time, we've filled to 32% there. So I've either got the choice of internal or external. So using external just here, so let's take that out. You can open up on both hot and cold, and you let that run for around about 30 seconds. What you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream as it is now. However, let's say you can see pump running again, showing that it's replacing the water. Let's say I want to use internal pump. That will take the water from the onboard tank. You can see again, nice steady continuous stream. So you have to have it on internal to use the onboard, external to use the external. And anytime you use the water, it will replace it. Now, with regards to this onboard tank, if I want to drain it, because obviously you can't walk around, well, not walk around, you can't leave site with it full of water, it can cause damage. Lift up this handle and essentially it will begin to drain it off. You might have to slightly twist it to the side like so, and then you can pull it out. And that will drain off any water inside the onboard tank system. Then when you want to use it, press it back in, twist it in, and get it so it's fully pushed. Just here we have the hob, grill and oven. So all of this operates on gas minus the electric plate. For the electric plate, spin it to the side and it will get to temperature. Everything else you have to press in on the dial, twist it to the side and press in the igniter button. You've also got a light button for the oven and grill on the side. Now it may be a case that these flames will light and then essentially cut out when you first come to use it. That's standard, that's just the gas making its way through the system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see here, all the flames nice and lit. Turn it off, back to the central position. Same for the grill. As you can see there, both sides nice and lit. And finally the oven. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. There you go, all nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you want to travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all the burners are cold to the touch. You can travel with your gas hose connected, but turn the actual bottle off itself. Then just here, we have your fridge operation. So it's a dual purpose fridge, so I can open it from either side, as you can see. Obviously, make sure that both sides, the pins are nice and pressed in before you do try and open up the other side. Then to turn this on, press and hold on this button here. It's also a dial. Hello, you can see my face. It will flash up with that symbol and then come to this. Now, if I want to change source, so first up, we have the amount of power. So 1 being the smallest amount of power coming to the fridge, 5 being the most powerful, so it's going to chill it the quickest. Now, it does take still, even on full, around about 4 or 5 hours to fully chill. Press it in again, switch one down, and I've got the choices for source. So whatever's blue is what's been selected. So I've got auto. That battery symbol is representative of your 13-pin electric, not your leisure battery. You cannot run this fridge on leisure battery. Gas. Now for gas, you'll gradually hear it tick in. Then once it's finished ticking, it's lit. I wouldn't recommend putting on gas until you've checked all of your hob, grill and oven. Or mains. Now let's say I select auto. Auto goes on. And then I can go back to the home screen. You can see auto switch from gas to mains. Then last row is some additional settings. So I've got screen brightness. I've got sound. So when I beep in, when I essentially press something, it will beep. I have fridge ventilation. And I have fast freeze. Fast freeze prioritizes the freezer itself over the actual fridge. And as you can see when it's on, lots of lovely lights. Naturally that screen will go off so it doesn't disturb you whilst you sleep, but you can just press in to get a quick summary. Then to turn it off, press and hold on this button. It turns itself off. Nothing coming on now. Then just here we have your toilet operation, which is bog simple. Press in this motor button and you can hear the water be pushed around the system. So when there is water inside the system, it will push it and then it will land into the cassette. You open up the cassette, it will drop it in just like so. When the cassette is full, there'll be a red light telling you to empty it.